You know, these riots in LA, everything being torched again in Los Angeles once again. They just had the freaking Palisades on fire, and now the entire city is under these violent riots where pallets of bricks are being dropped off in certain areas where agitators, wearing masks of course, are smashing up like pillars, little columns in the street to create throwing objects for protesters. Well, maybe actually no, we'll call them rioters. You know, we have to be fair here. We will call them rioters because there's a difference. There is the protesters, there is the rioters. There is protesting, then there is rioting going on. So there are perhaps a few different camps. But with these ICE raids in Los Angeles, it's almost a new low for the extreme new woke left, where they've gone so far beyond losing their mind that they've stumped for people like Abrego Garcia. Literally called him a Maryland man. We got to take him home to his family. He was disappeared. Chris Van Hollen is making this, you know, they're going to make a movie about this type of journey to El Salvador, thinking he is literally going to be Gandhi for Abrego Garcia or something. And he's a martyr. It turns out this guy made over 100 different trips to the border in a vehicle that had plates that matched the plate numbers. The vehicle matched the description of a confirmed MS-13 vehicle. At worst, he is a sick bastard, potentially alleged murderer, child trafficker. At best, he's someone who is trafficking God knows how many people in and out of this country, and who knows what happened to those people. So my point is they have taken up these type of heroes. They're going into the streets now with Viva la Revolution, and it's you know, I can't say Donald Trump hasn't been a disastrous president. I think whether you are, you know, Trump fellatio syndrome, Trump derangement syndrome, or neither, like myself, I think you can identify that Trump has failed on a lot of promises completely, maybe even lied about some. And Donald Trump has done some really weird things in his term already that have really deviated strongly from his campaign promises. There's been no America first. It's been almost Israel first, his interests first. Doge was not the sweeping success we expected. Elon Musk either wasn't given enough time, or was this all about lining pockets with the Palantir contract and the access to information, all of that. The Palantir thing is another thing that is just very creepy. We will go into that in another video here. But Trump, one thing Trump has done successfully is securing this border with a sweeping success of 96% less immigration flood from the border compared to the Biden administration, which is just unbelievable. What was going on while that man was president? Can we even say that at this point, knowing what we know about Joe Biden? But he has really cracked down on immigration. He's made it a big issue, and you you will see some effects in the economy because of these mass deportations. The one thing that I really want to stress about these riots is, A, we hope this does not become something that sweeps across the nation, because this has been terrible for America, terrible for everybody, terrible for California, terrible for Los Angeles. Maybe big for Tom Morello's Instagram account, looking all cool, going out there with the rioters and then going home and in one of the, gated communities in Los Angeles and getting to chill. But, he's Viva la Revolution in a limo. And I'm a big Tom Morello fan, but come on, man. Trying to make it the battle for Los Angeles. Come on. This has been an unspeakable low for the left. This new woke extreme left, where they don't even care about American citizens. They care about foreign nationals. Some would even say foreign invaders, some of these people, and I think that would be an apt description, and that does not, for me, it's hard for me to include hardworking families who've been here for a few decades, maybe didn't do everything correctly, paid their taxes the entire time. It's kind of speak English as well in some form, shape, or form. Have assimilated peacefully, this fits the description of so many people from the Mexican community. And that's what really bothers me, is that these paid agitators, these few, have really made the entire community look bad. And you've seen a lot of Mexican Americans speaking out online saying, whoa, this does not represent me. And the data would show that with how many Hispanic men came out in support of Donald Trump, which was just a shocking statistic from this last election. And it's because these immigrants in these communities are the first to be harmed, first to be messed with, first to be robbed, first to be raped, first to have all this happen, first to have their children trafficked by these sick bastards who infiltrate these communities. So you're actually not protecting your people. You're actually kind of letting them be sitting ducks in these lawless communities. And it's time that ended. And you've seen the streets of Los Angeles become the face of those lawless communities that so many liberals say just don't exist, it's not a problem, don't worry. Oh, those numbers are fake. When you saw the invasion with your own eyes, I mean, no matter what someone tried to tell you about the numbers, you could see it for yourself. And everyone who lied about those numbers, diminished those numbers, or embellished them, they've all been found out since. And you can see there is a plot that is bigger than... this is no natural thing. This is no natural movement. Okay? There is a plot. A straight plot to destabilize this country. And you've seen it in the UK, you've seen it in Germany, you've seen it in a lot of European countries. A mass influx of immigration. And you can't really say Mexican Americans have been volatile compared to Islam in Europe. Not even close. But you've seen the rise of it, and you're going to see it get even worse here as, they fly the flags of countries they're doing everything not to return to, and burning the flags of ones that, they'll spit on and shit on and destroy. It's very interesting, especially when Americans do not have rights to protest or speak out in any way, shape, or form. in Mexico. So, I mean, I traveled a lot as a young kid with my parents, and there is no way I would ever expect borders not to exist or not be respected. Or, I mean, you had to have your papers. Don't you dare lose that passport. In fact, give that to Dad. Dad's going to have them all. You know, it was regimented because you had to have the papers to keep going. You had to have the papers to get into the country. That was just as a visitor. I would never imagine going into Mexico and doing this. But at the same time, would I imagine if I was a Mexican illegally coming into this country, if that's what it took to get my family here? Absolutely, I would. So can I sympathize with these people? Absolutely. We cannot deport everyone ever, like people who have that type of rhetoric. There is a toxic compassion, and then there is a sensible compassion. We need to have the right combination of both here with this situation. You know, the cleaning lady who's assimilated into our culture, everyone loves, who's been here for 2 decades, pays her taxes. Should she be disappeared in the night, taken? I understand she broke the law, but maybe let's make the pathway for her easier than some others. You know what I'm saying? The families that are here, and just go hard after the criminals. Make that case and make it obvious. Sell that, Tom Homan. They've been doing an incredible job with that, and this is really going to be their biggest test.